This Japanese man lived on top of a public toilet for 3 years. We've all heard the same refrain over and over again in our lives. Home is where your heart is. But one Japanese man took this to another level. Home, for him, was above a public toilet in Yuseki, southwestern Japan. It seems that poverty and homelessness is a huge issue all around the globe. Actually, according to the last survey that tried to pin down the number of homeless people in the world, the number exceeded the colossal figure of 100 million people. And not only that, according to the same study, 1.6 billion people lacked adequate housing. Japan, like all countries in the world, is no exception to this kind of social phenomenon. Back in 2013, a Chinese woman was found to have lived in a hole in the ground in Beijing for 20 years, using the toilets at a nearby park for water and washing facilities. The woman was eventually captured and fined with an amount of money she was not able to pay. It's a huge issue around the world, and we still don't know how to manage it. This Japanese man in particular, whose name is Mr. Yamanouchi, or you can call him the public toilet man, was found by an electrician who at the time was making some repair work in the area and discovered what seemed to be a hidey hole. So he stuck around for a few hours and saw another person go into it. Let's stop and think this through. This man came into the public bathroom and saw that someone was living there, and instead of calling the authorities, he saw the face of a potential roomie? What the hell? The electrician ended up living with the man for a while, but then left. Takashi Yamanouchi continued to live there for a long time until his arrest at 54 years old. The police were astonished when he said that he had left his home 10 years ago and drifted from place to place until making his way to Oita. Can you imagine living in such a confined space for so long? And we also wonder, how was it that no one on the site ever watched him come in? He must have been meticulous to fool so many people for so many years. While hearing about his experience, it seems like this kind of housing is much more difficult than you'd expect. He had to climb on top of the toilet stalls with the idea of squeezing through a maintenance hatch. According to an employee that talked to police, the home of this man was surprisingly tidy and neat, weirdly cleaner than what you'd expect from a home that sits above public toilets. The man had his clothing, a gas stove, and an electric heater up there. He lived a much better life than a lot of other homeless out there, so you have to give him that. The electric heater situation was probably what the electrician came to check out and what gave the man away. An unusual amount of electricity being consumed by a couple of fluorescent tubes. But that wasn't all. They also found his attic was also full of 500 plastic bottles, which had a capacity of 500 milliliters, all neatly organized and filled up with his urine. When nature calls, well, you answer, right? But one question that may have risen to your mind is, didn't Mr. Yamaguchi see the people that went into the public toilet? And the answer is yes. Being this the case, the Yuseki authorities in Japan have carried out an extensive search of all their public toilets, investigation that followed the eviction of Mr. Yamanouchi, and they can now say that all public toilets are clear of undesired watchers. Now everyone can pee safely. Thank God. Mr. Yamanouchi did everything right. He was cautious and organized, but it was only a matter of time before he would have been found. There was no other way around it. He's now facing trespassing charges, and the question remains about what to do with an unusual case like this one. Why? Well, a fine would be pointless because the man wouldn't be able to pay it, and prison would be a massive improvement regarding the housing that Mr. Yamanouchi is accustomed to. Maybe they'll have to reconsider the old Edo-era punishment of face tattooing because they have no idea what to do. We'll wait and see. The fact is that this is something that the Justice Secretary will have to think about. In the meantime, all those people that use the public bathroom are kept wondering about if they were watched over during that private relief time they had back when he was living up there. Crazy, right?